trying this. Yeah. So it's up. All right. This is insane. Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom to everybody entering the room. I made a boo-boo. I'll tell you about my boo-boo in a minute. Hallelujah. Shabbat shalom, Brother Tom. Brother Tom, I emailed you. I don't know if you got my email. And I asked if you can you send me your email address, email address, P.O. box or address one more time so I can get you those Hebrew walking onions. Brother Justin Monroe, Shabbat shalom, brother. Brother Elkhound, Shabbat shalom. And then, Brother Tom, also thank you for your kind words about the scenario. Something I've been thinking about. It's also something that I will touch on a little bit this live stream. Got a couple emails about it. And since it, involves a person's house, an individual's house, I definitely will talk about it. Hope y'all having a blessed day of rest. I know I needed this rest. I know. We have a blazing hot week coming up for those, I'll just say in the Ozark region. Blazing hot week. Hebrew Rapaholic, Shabbat Shalom, my brother. Sister Aspen English, Shabbat Shalom, sister. Shalom to you and your husband and your daughter and the whole house. Bless you, sister. My brother Hebrew Rapaholic. I was driving today, and they were doing some road work, and they were doing something with some tar, and I drove through that I guess a cloud of stuff, and I started hacking and coughing. I turned my vehicle to a doggone gas chamber. Blessed by God, shalom, 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 shalom. Been reading your comments, blessed by God, on the videos, and thank you for your comments and your information and wisdom. I hope people take heed. Sister Aspen, you as well. I mean, I truly hope people are taking heed to the information that is being put out there from people who know. And if not, people have a right to ignore to their own detriment, but it would be wiser if they just took heed to the information and, prepared themselves accordingly. We are not going to be long tonight. Everybody's looking forward to the Shabbat. I know I do. Brother Johnny Graham, shalom, brother. Shalom, shalom, brother. Hallelujah. Blessings to you, your house, and everything you are putting your hands to, my brother. Hallelujah. So I thought I put this stream up, and apparently I didn't. So I went live, and apparently the stream was private. So I sat here for like 10 minutes on a live stream because I thought I had posted it, and nobody was in there. And I was like, what? What is going on? Then I found out it never got posted. It was my bad. Lord Jamo, shalom, shalom. Uh-oh. Elkown said, was at local mom and pop produce and bulk store. Cheapest dry bean they are selling now is $2.49 a pound. And many $4.99 a pound. Like October's and Yellow Eyes. They always been cheapest around. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, I noticed that also, brother. Shalom, Sister Ebony. Shalom, Ebony. Shalom, Tanisha. Shalom. You were the first one in the room. I said shalom, but nobody heard it. No, I did say it. Everybody ignored me. Best stuff. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Yeah, like lentils, pinto beans, black beans. The Great Navy beans are still relatively cheap. Relatively. So today, or this year, I decided to actually grow some of my own lentils. So we are actually growing our own lentils this year. We're probably not going to de-shell them, take them out of the shell. We'll probably just eat them like you would normal green beans. I'm looking forward. Shalom, Sister Taylor. Everyone's saying shalom. And they're all right here. Goes hand in hand with the article I said. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If I could post that article, I will. I may have to post it in what do you call that? Comment on my channel comment or something like that. J.A. Dudley, Shabbat Shalom, brother. Shalom to you and your house. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sister Cassie, Shabbat Shalom. Sister Taylor, Beth Steph said, wait a minute, she said, Shalom, Sister Taylor. That's exactly what she said. I read it word for word. It was that deep. Hallelujah. Anybody see how many points the Dow went down today? If you know the answer, type it in the chat. How many points did the Dow go down today? Sister Lisa McKinney, Shabbat Shalom, sister. Shabbat Shalom, the brother. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Your head at his house. Woo. Sister Aspen says 600. I think it was a little bit more than 6. It was a little bit more than 6, Sister Aspen. Is it too many? There it is, Elcam. 880 points. Woo! 880 points. Sheepdog Tanker, Shabbat Shalom. Sister Amanda, Shabbat Shalom. Yes, 888. Woo! Inflation is at a 40 year high. 40 year high. Yes, NASDAQ dropped 400. I think that I think it dropped 3.5%. I think it was the NASDAQ dropped 3.5%. People's 401ks are being absolutely annihilated right now. Especially if your 401k is in stocks. Woo! Sister Esther Bell, Shabbat Shalom, sister. Shalom to you and your head, Brother Arbel, sir. Shalom, shalom. Yeah, if you're in retirement right now, I know people have been hitting me up about California's CalPERS system, which is the retirement system that a lot of teachers have out there. Annihilated. Especially if you want heavy stocks, annihilated. Brother Elcount, yes. Now, of course, 40 years ago, I think I was still in the womb. I might have just came out. Just came out. But, woo. Brother Arbel Sr., Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, the House of Bell. Oh, Sister Cassie said, we at CalPERS. When I worked in a school district, sister, I had CalPERS too. I had retirement in CalPERS, and I pulled it out when I moved out here. Took the penalty and everything, but woo! For those that are still sitting there with your retirement and stocks, bonds, oh my. People are gonna be taking a hurting right now. What in what world is this the best economy ever? Well, in the world of Joe Biden, where he just figured out he was president yesterday, in his world, this is the best economy ever. Oh man, Brother Ken, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, brother. Man. May your wife have comfort. May you have comfort, my brother. Wow. I had another brother send me a message and said that his father died this week. He said he's actually happy though. He said he's actually happy. He said because he can't imagine what this is going to look like in a year or two from now. And the brother said that as much as he would have, loved to try and take care of his father and would do the best that he can, his father had a lot of medical issues that he doesn't know with the way the world's going. He doesn't know if he would have been able to adequately take care of him. So he was actually rejoicing. I mean, obviously his father kept the law, was in the faith and everything, so he was happy. That his father recently came to Messiah, repented of his sins, and started keeping that law. But obviously it's painful when that happens, especially if it's somebody that, is involved in your life and you deeply care for. My family is none of them are in the faith, so different story. Joe needs the test. I'm sorry, Brother Ken and family. He does. He does. Sister Lovely Dudley, Shabbat Shalom. From the house of Brother J.A. Dudley. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Well, I hope y'all had a productive week. Uh, worked hard, got things done, move forward. That's something that it's hard for people to do now. Brother Daryl Vick, Shabbat Shalom, brother. So the man that said I keep asking my mom to put my grandmother on convalescent care instead of another round of surgeries for bladder cancer at 92. Wow. I understand. I understand. I want to start off by saying, welcome everybody to the channel. It is an honor to have you all here. We're not going to be long. I'm going to try and read as many comments as I can. I make no promises. If I happen to miss your comment, it is nothing personal. On my end, sometimes when I'm in a thought or whatever, it's hard to stop the thought, read the comment, and then go back to the thought. Make sure you close the door. And then go back to the comment. So I'm doing everything that I possibly can to read the comments, but sometimes I may read it and then still continue my thought, and I might not get to your comment. It is nothing personal. My only hope is to give information, give things for us to think about, considering the time that we are coming into. Just considering the time that we are coming into. Brother Jay said, indeed, preparing the land for our Grindstone Ministries Project Caleb House. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hallelujah. Yeah, oh gosh. Ebony, he's in here. He's loose. Hallelujah. Right now, we're doing everything in our house to continually push forward, continual preparations, continual order. You know, that's the one thing that I want to talk about today is order. Because with all the food preps and everything, it does no good if you don't have family order. If you don't have order within your household. If everyone doesn't know the vision, and this is an indictment on men. If everybody doesn't know the vision and operating in it and moving in it, it does no good. In fact, the Bible says that all things be done decently and in order. And right now, if you have an orderless home, oh gosh, you're in for a rude awakening. You're in for a rude awakening. And one of those things in regards to order that I want to talk about was what I did my video on today, which was on one of the scenarios, which was, what's going to happen, or what would you do if they came after your children because you are unable to provide the things that are needed, or the things that you are providing they don't think is good enough. This is one of the reasons why, brothers and sisters, I talk about, and Pastor Fox is talking about it, I don't know for how long, coming out of her, coming out of Babylon, coming out of this system as much as possible. Because you do have to understand, you know, a lot of people, when I talk about, you know, this country and the way it's going, they talk about it as if today you're going to go to bed and tomorrow you're going to wake up and there's going to be zombies walking down the streets, calling for brains. The president and his cabinet are going to be in their fallout bunker, you know, down near the middle of the earth. And it's complete chaos. People don't understand that in order, just this collapse itself, you see how long it took? I think a lot of people prayed, help it to fall down so that tomorrow it's just there and we're all, no, things take time to get from point A to point B. And it's slow. And that's what most people did not want to happen. Most people wanted it to happen where their student debt loans are going to be forgiven, all their credit card debt is just going to be wiped away. They don't have to worry about nothing anymore because the system just, everything happened at once. An EMP hit, a nuclear bomb hit, a comet hit, Godzilla is fighting, I don't know, Megatron, and Optimus Prime and Bumblebee are out there. Everybody, that's what people were really imagining. And what you're seeing is, oh, the Dow dropped 888 points. Oh, gas prices went up another 25 cents, another 30 cents. Oh, diesel went up. Oh, diesel truck companies are going out of business. Oh, food prices are rising. Nobody expected this to happen this way. And most people don't prepare for these sort of things. They don't. So now, right, the Fight Club narrative. That's right. Exactly, J.A.W. Yes. The people collapsing the system stated order out of chaos. Nothing runs well without order. Right, sister. See, the thing is that while we look at it and say it's chaos, they look at it and say it's order. This is order for them. Part one is happening the way they planned it to happen. Now we're going to part two. It's slow and insidious, so people do not. Let me get to the comments. Of course, I'm not in my chat, so I'm never in my chat. Excuse me. Wait there. There's some comments I want to read. So the Taylor said it's slow and insidious, so people do not even notice until it's too late. Like the frog in a pot of boiling water. It's exactly what I saw another brother said that. And it's not in here. I think it was Brother Lord Jamo said the same thing about the frog and hot water. It's happening so slow. The falling down is happening so slow. And people were not expecting this. Especially those, more in the heavy preparedness movement. They were not expecting this. They wanted it to fall down so they could have their Mad Max situation. But as I saw, J.A. said, everything's going to zero. Brother Arbel said, it's just a slow stroking with a little pat on the head. That's exactly how it's happening. It's a slow degradation. I just read an article right before I got in the stream that said there are more youth who are transitioning to the opposite sex than even psychologists had imagined. So it's a slow decline. I saw a picture of a homeless encampment from a sister on Facebook. I'm not really on Facebook, but I got on because I was on Marketplace, and I saw a picture that she had posted up of a encampment in Seattle and how it's growing, how they're getting, anywhere from 5 to 15 new people a day in this encampment. And why I'm bringing this up is the same reason why I talked about the stream. I talked about the video. Because it's not going to be a fall down tomorrow. And when it falls down tomorrow, CPS is going to be gone. Health and Department of Health Services is going to be gone. Public school is going to be gone. See, so many people are waiting for that. But you don't understand, we have to get from where we are today to that. So what happens in that transition? Well, a lot of people are finding out. During that transition, you can have all the food you want in your house. I'm just being real. You can have all the food you want in your house, all the water storage in your house, all the firearms, gold, okay, maybe not gold and silver, but firearms, ammunition. But when you don't pay your rent and you get evicted with nowhere to go, with 2,500 pounds of food, 30 gallons of water. Each gallon of water weighs what? Roughly 8 pounds? 30 gallons of water. Sorry, 300 gallons of water. 8 pounds, 2,400 gallons. Or 2,400 pounds worth of water. All your guns and all your ammo, where are you going to put it when you get evicted? Where are you going to put it? Can you even move that? Now, I have moved a large amount of food before, and it's not fun. L-Count, you said it right there, brother. Of course, I can't read it because I have to get back to the... L-Count said, you better be able to grind it out daily for a very, very long time. Brother TVC Ton 111 said, read The Fall of the Roman Empire. The collapse took decades. That's the thing. That's a great comment, because even if this collapse took until 2030, let's just say 2030, how many people have the longevity, or how many people have an 8-year plan? As things continue to go down, as inflation continues to go up, as crime is skyrocketing, how many people have an 8-year plan? Let's just ask this question. Financially, where you are right now, if prices continue to rise and your income stayed steady, but prices continue to rise, let's just say it rose, I don't know. Let's say it rose 15% a year, inflation did. Could you stay in the place that you are right now for the next 8 years? Could you? Could you afford to keep the lights on? Could you afford to keep the food coming in? Now let's just say, because food prices I think are going higher than 15%. I'm just being real. Food prices are skyrocketing. Fuel prices are skyrocketing. Let's say now, we talked about this, I think last stream, for you to go to work, Brother Kevin Pitt, shalom. Tuba, shalom. Shalom. Let's say gas does hit where you are right now, at your normal everyday gas station, $8 a gallon. Let's just say it does. Can you afford where you stay today? Let's say along with gas prices, food prices are rising. Let's say your vehicle breaks down and you can't, you call your AutoZone, they don't have the part. You go to your you contact Rock Auto, because I use Rock Auto and have stuff shipped to my house so I can do my own work. Can't find it. Let's say you can't find that alternator. So now you're out of work for a month or two, and then you try to go back and they say, we found somebody else to replace you. Can you continue to live the way you are for the next 8 years? Ryan Laverett, Shabbat Shalom, brother. Shabbat Shalom. These are important questions you got to ask yourself. Now, with that being said, with today's video, as things fall apart, if you are in these metropolitan areas, there were some excellent comments from people, from brothers and sisters who have done this before. Let's just say you are in a bad situation now, and the government's been giving you food stamps, or the government's been giving you cash aid, or the government's been giving you Section 8, or the government's been giving you whatever service they've been giving you. You go to food banks, they're helping you pay, for your heating bill, and suddenly these services, because what you're going to start watching is, as the government starts tightening up, these services that they're just throwing money out to you are going to start going away. They're going to start going away until they get their system set up the way they want it to. So now, hey, here you are in a Section 8 home, and bam, they tell you, sorry, we're not going to be paying your rent the way we have been. We're not going to be paying 85% of your rent anymore. We'll pay 10% of your rent. And now you're forced to, but you have nowhere to go. And you've got children they've been giving you cash aid for. The reason why you got $900 a month on your food stamp card is not because of you. It's because you got 4 children. The reason why your cash aid is $1,200 is not because of you, because of them 4 children. And now they know you've been dependent on them to eat and to live. And now you hear at your door 2 days before you're evicted. And they say, well, do you have any place to go? Well, I'm still looking. Well, we're going to have to take your children until you can show that you have an employment. until you can show you're taking care of them, until you can show you can feed them. You hear a on your door because your children are still in the public school system, but they don't have lights in the house because you can't afford to pay the light bill. And your child told the teacher that you can't afford to pay the light bill, and they're cold at night. Or your child goes to school and scarfs down the school lunch, and they ask the child, "What happened? You know, what? Slow down. What's going on?" Well, I haven't eaten. I didn't. All I've been eating is rice for dinner. All I've been eating is top ramen for dinner. Get on, please. What's going to happen when your child says that because they're still in the public school system, and you hear at your door? Hello? Yeah, my name is such and such from, whatever organization. We got a report from your child that they don't have heat in the house. That we have a report that they've been eating rice every day for the last 3 months, 2 weeks, whatever you want to say. We've noticed that they've been extremely dirty at school. Their clothes aren't washed. What do you do then? That's exactly it. You need to taste the soul. That's exactly it. They're going to get you with some child neglect. This is why it's important for you to know and have a place to go. This is why it's important for you to leave these states that are so draconian and are always in your business. This is why it's important for you to start downsizing the amount of people that are in your business. I'm fascinated with the amount of people that are on food stamps and cash aid or are barely paying their bills, but they make sure that they have enough money, enough bandwidth to post their pictures on Facebook. If you're going to be on Facebook, that should be a time for you to be using Facebook to reach out, to create some relationships and some friendships with people instead of posting your whole damn life. Look at me. I know some Bible verses. Great. You know Bible verses. You might be the one using them if they're there to take your children away. That's exactly it, Brother Tom. Nobody's coming to rescue you. Nobody's coming to rescue you. I'm just trying to get you to think about what it looks like in your life 2 years from now. Well, I got myself a job right now. I'm straight. That's great. What about 2 years from now? What about 3 years from now? Again, my brother put up and said that they take decades. Let's just say this collapse takes 1 decade, just one. And we're in year 2 of it. We had a friend whose kid dropped something on his shirt at school breakfast. And the teacher reported, see, sister, this is why I wonder. It's all about family order, brothers and sisters. This is why I continually wonder, what are people's plan long term? If your plan is, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm a single woman, and my idea is I'm going to send my child to school while I work. I'm going to work a job that pays me $17 an hour. Wow. 17 whole bucks an hour. They'll be eating into that by the end of this year. You're making 17 bucks an hour, and your child's at school. And let's just say you fall into a hard time. There are people out there right now whose children's only ability to eat a nutritious meal is at school. If you're relying on your child to have a nutritious meal at school, you're in trouble. Brother Ken, thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm honored, brother. Brother Ken said, I hope people are listening. My father said during the Great Depression, the people hit hardest were in the big cities. His family lived on a farm, and they lacked for nothing because they had cash crops to barter, i.e. tobacco. Can you please get him together? I do this every stream. Sister Amanda said, we had a friend whose kid dropped something on a shirt at school breakfast, and the teacher reported that the kid came to school dirty. Luckily, the cop who went with CPS worker got upset at CPS when he realized why he was there. And that's a great story, Sister Amanda, because had they not had that rational thinking cop, can you imagine? We've got to think. We've got to think about our children. We've got to think that at the decisions that we are making today, our haughtiness, our pride, our selfishness, our lack of foresight, our lack of movement isn't just going to cost us as adults. It's going to cost the children that we say we love so much. They're the ones that are going to be hurting. There it is, Sister Lovely Dudley said. That's how so many children get lost in the system. That's exactly it. That is exactly it. And it's gonna majorly suck for people who have had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after live stream after come out of her. I mean, these things that you hear said over and over and over and over and over again. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck when it's not the people out in the world that this is happening to. It's the people that are in so-called faith, who didn't have the ears to hear, who were not doers of the word, but hearers only. It's going to hurt when they are the ones suffering. And so you ask, well, what can I do now? You know, I'm in a bad situation. What can I do now? This is why and where, if you want to use Facebook, if you want to use these means of communication, this is when you reach out to somebody. Hey, if bad things go down where I am, is your home a place I could go? Do you have an extra bedroom that I could come in? Do you have an extra travel trailer that I could go into? Hey, if that means that right now I will come out twice a month and help you on your property, help you in your house, do work in your house. So, I mean, it's happening. I mean, I'm going to be real. The Hispanic culture has this down. Back in the area that I lived in, they were very good at moving together, sharing expenses, and expanding. They would move 3 or 4 families into a 2 or 3 bedroom house and work their butts off. All of them. Some of them would go and wait in front of Home Depot. Some of them would go work at Taco Bell. Some of them would go work at the taco shop. Some of them would go work at the grocery store. And they'd bring all that money in, and they'd buy the next house, and buy the next house, and the next house. And by the end of 3 to 5 years, each one of those families that were in the original house, which might be 3 or 4 families, each of them had their own home. And they continued to expand until they bought up the whole neighborhood. And they ran everybody that was of my color and of the sect that I was part of, ran most of them out. See, we don't get that. We don't have family order like that. But they got order. The system has order. They know what they're doing. And I'm saying, and I understand, you know, we pray to Yah, we lean on him, but come on, Yah's giving us wisdom. These same people that tell us, well, I'm just relying on Yah. They don't rely on Yah to pay their rent, do they? They don't sit at home and say, well, I'm just going to pray and read and study and keep the Shabbat and my rent's going to be paid. They don't say, I'm just going to pray and read and study, and when I go and sit at the dinner table, the food's miraculously going to show up. They're not sitting there saying, well, Yah's going to rain down manna from heaven, are they? No. They're the same ones that go and spend money, or they fill out that application for food stamps, and they get the food stamps, and they thank Yah for the food stamps, and then go and spend the food stamps. They don't just sit there and pray. Let me read some of these comments. Kentucky Ready said, I am so glad I don't have young children to raise in this day and time, but I worry about my grandkids because they are spoiled brats. Man, that's another, oh man. Bless you, Kentucky Ready. Bless you, bless you. That's another thing. Are your children disciplined? That's part of family order. Are your children one of the ones that are in the grocery store having a damn fit? Got you looking embarrassed while they're throwing a fit in the store. Which one are you? Unique Case of Soul said, which is Akicha's Ranch, he said, they have taken over the neighborhood. That's exactly right, brother. The Hispanics, and I have a deep level of respect for their culture and how they did it. I mean, I'm sure there was some drug movement and some drug trading there somewhere. But man, they knew they had a game plan and they executed it to the T. I have a deep level of respect for that. We have people in the faith today who say they have a vision from Yah, and that Yah led them this way, and they're moving in that. And then as soon as the first blip comes up, Yah's vision is gone. They've done abandoned Yah's vision. They were telling everybody else, Yah, 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 Yah. First blip, first trial, first tribulation, gone. Brother J.A. said, I tried to do that with my family in New Jersey, and they said no. It's hard to do. Brother Mark Chase said, when you drop your kids off at church, at kids' church, they call 911? You'd be surprised about how many people are actually considered mandatory reporters. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. A sister commented and said that doctors and those that are in the medical field are now asking their patients, are you food secure? They're also asking you, do you have firearms in your house? We had to make provisions for our daughter with special medical and dietary needs. We have it arranged as far as humanly possible. We have a farm and house that is being worked. So that's what I'm saying. If you've got children right now, as Kentucky Ready was saying, he feels sorry for those that have young children. And you know what? That's a very valid point. If you've got young children right now, your plan should be so immaculate as to not find yourself in a terrible position trying to feed yourself and children when you can't even feed yourself. Elkel said the first thing to have is some form of fashion of a home that you own and be out of debt. You can survive so much more when you have a roof over your head and no debt. Brother, I'm gonna be honest. I'm just being honest. This is my opinion. When I hear people who are contemplating getting in more debt, I find it very interesting right now. First, all you have to do is be patient. The way economics works is this. There's going to be this collapse. And then after the collapse, if you've done your job, saved, and been wise, there's going to be opportunities, buying opportunities. Prices of things are going to go down. House prices will go down. That's if the banks don't buy up all the foreclosed homes and rent them all out, which is what they're doing right now. They're buying up all the homes that they can get their hands on, and then they rent them out. I saw Tuba said, housing is in a bubble everywhere though. Right. Wait it out. I would not get in debt right now. Elkown, man, brother. See, Elkown knows the story of Jasher. And he knows the story of the 12 tribes and how they got themselves into slavery. If you don't have a book of Jasher, please get yourself a book of Jasher, download the PDF on the internet, and read the story of how the 12 tribes became slaves. Well, all of them but Levi. See, Levi knew what Pharaoh was doing. And when Pharaoh offered the children of Israel jobs to make money, good money, but they had to come into the cities of Pithom and Ramses to build them, Levi didn't go. Levi stayed on the outside. So the other 11 tribes all decided they chased the money. That's why I call the city, for those of you who have been part of this channel for any amount of time, that's why I call it the reservation. Everyone moved there because that's where all the good money was, all the high-paying jobs were. And also the high rent costs, the high cost of living. Sure, you'll make $150,000, but you'll have to spend $149,900 to make it. When the average rent price is $2,000 for an apartment, how do you plan to make it? We have no choice but to wait it out. Interest rates will fall eventually, so we could refinance it. That's right. Yes. There are, just in this area that I'm in right now, driving to Walmart today, I saw 3 more places. And when I drive to Walmart, I'm probably passing by in my drive, which I'm not going to tell you how long my drive is, but it's shorter than 2 hours, but longer than 1. I probably passed by, 300 residences. You'd be surprised at how many for sale signs have popped up. People are moving, which doesn't make sense to me. It's all backwards. They're moving to the city. Well, it kind of makes sense. They're moving to the cities because most of them are driving an hour or 2 to the major city, and now they're being eaten up by gas prices. So if you don't have family order in your house, how are the things that we are seeing going to affect you? Imagine you see what's happening as a brother or as a sister. I'm going to go from different perspectives. From the brother. You see what's happening, but your wife doesn't. And somehow, you have to ask her permission to spend money. I don't know how that happens, but it happens. And you say, hey, Azure Standard has a sale on wheat. I think that we should buy, a ton of wheat. And she's like, no, we're not spending, $1,000 on that. That's our vacation money. No family order. None. So now, you don't buy the wheat. But now, times have gotten worse. And you're supposed to provide, right, brothers? A man that does not work doesn't eat. Oh, Tuba, you have no idea, brother. You have no idea. Brother, I thank you so much for passing that information on to me, brother, because you have no idea what I've done with the Zip Standard. You have no clue, brother. I had to bring the trailer. Because I was like, I've never heard of them before. Until you brought it up. So, brother, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? You're right. The shipping prices are reasonable considering. It is, brother. It is. Oh, gosh. The drop-off location person or coordinator knows me already. But Sister Amanda said, imagine if you didn't have order when they asked Sister T to basically spy on you. Sister Amanda, that's the truth. That's the truth. If you don't have family order, and for those of you who have been on the channel for any amount of time, you know what story I'm talking about. You know the story where I had to deal with the system over false allegations against me. And they asked Tanisha, my wife at the time, my one rib at the time, basically, if you turn on him and lie in court, they told her this. Turn on him and lie in court. We'll give you everything you want, but help us get him. And if you don't do this, we're going to get you too. We're going to break this whole family apart, basically, is what they told her. Now, imagine you don't have family order, and that happens. Think about this, brothers. Woo! Imagine, brother, you take in a woman into your house that has a child, and they tell her, if you don't turn on him, we're going to take this child away from you. Oh, you'll find out what family order is real quick. You'll find out how important it is real quick. Real quick. Just let that rattle around in your head for a little bit. What would your wife do? WWYWD. What would your wife do? Do you have order in your house, or would you secretly fear that she would turn you in and lie against you because they scared her? You gotta think about these things. Because the Bible speaks about family order. The Bible clearly tells you who the head is. Who the head is. The head is in charge of covering everybody under him, who's part of his household. Ribs, children, and if you have other people living with you, grandparents, wife's mother, brothers, if it's your land, they're all under your covering. You are the head. You are the executor. You are the decision maker. Well, are your decisions trustworthy? Are your decisions trustworthy, brothers? Do you make good decisions? Because there's a lot more than just saying, obey me. Now, she should obey you, obviously, but I'm just saying, if you have a history of leading the family off a cliff every single time a tough decision comes up, or you are habitually passing the responsibility of tough decisions on her as if she's supposed to carry them, things you got to consider. Because if you don't have order inside of your home, your home's going to fall apart. I'm just telling you. The more stress, the more strain, the more pressure that is put upon your household. Now imagine you have a decision to make. Do you pay the electric bill or do you pay the rent? Fat Man Off Grid said, that's the only problem I have been by myself. Sometimes I second guess myself. Brother, I used to second guess myself also. I mean, and I realized that in order to be out here, I couldn't do it. And your name is Fat Man Off Grid, so you're off grid. I would say, don't second guess yourself, brother. What I do is if it's a tough decision, Bible says make no decisions without counsel. So I always get counsel. I always hear other parts. I want to make sure. So I have, trusted brothers that I can talk to and ask them their opinion on a situation. I get that counsel. I pray about it. I weigh it, and I make my decision. Let me see if I can find it in here. Give me a second. My pocket for you. It's about to fall out. There it is. Sirach, chapter 37. We're going to go down to, we'll go down to verse 12. Sirach, chapter 37, verse 12. Read from verse 7 to 11. If you want to see, read about people who have bad counsel, or these counselors that will give you counsel for their own benefit, that's what you read that at. But verse 12 says, "But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of Yah, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry." So when you seek counsel from somebody, you want to make sure that the person you're getting counsel from is actually going to hurt if you hurt. You don't want to ask a person for counsel who doesn't really care if you get hurt. If you get hurt, he's like, well, glad it ain't me. Go to verse 7. "Every counselor extolleth counsel, but there is some that counseleth for himself. Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he hath. For he will counsel for himself, lest the lot fall upon thee. And say unto thee, thy way is good. And afterward he stand on the other side to see what will befall thee." So there are some that will counsel you and tell you, hey, yeah, I would do that. Go do that. And you'll go and do it. And then he'll stand in the background and watch. And if you fall off a cliff, or if you get hurt from his counsel, you'll turn around and he ain't nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. He gone. You don't want that person to be a counselor. But it says one that keeps the commandments. Then it says, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. So you want counsel from somebody that if you get hurt, he's going to be there for you. He's going to be there for you, especially if you took his counsel. Which should tell us, brothers and sisters, we should be careful on who we counsel. You need to be extremely careful on who you counsel, especially when you get into the specifics of what they have going on. Because if something bad befalls them, are you going to mourn with them? Or are you going to change your phone number? It's like it didn't happen. Some people do that. You got to call them. Doo-doo-doo. The number you have reached is no longer in service. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand. Fat man off grid. Listen, verse 13. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it. For a man's mind is sometimes wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit high upon a tower. And above all this, pray to the Most High, that he will direct thy way in truth. Let reason go before every enterprise, and counsel before every action. So it is important that you seek counsel. And oftentimes, when people suffer or struggle with double-mindedness, it's because we didn't get good counsel. We did not get. There's something in there where we failed. We didn't pray about it. We didn't get counsel or good counsel. And that's why we're kind of like, see, if I do this, then that person right there, one thing I've told women all the time. If you're a woman who wants to get married, don't take counsel from single women. Just don't do it. It says it right here in the verse also. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. Verse 11. Neither with a coward in matters of war. Don't consult with a coward in matter of war. This is why when I get on YouTube, I only listen to a certain amount of people. I only listen to a certain couple of people. I listen to people who I know for a 100% fact are doers. I don't listen to people who are just selling stuff. I don't care how fast you can change a magazine. I don't care how fast you can drop that AK-4. You put that magazine back there and you hit the release, and that magazine, the empty one, goes flipping off into the sunset so beautifully. I don't care how great you do those things. If I want to have a conversation about a self-defense situation, I want to talk to people who have defended themselves. If I want to talk to a person about gardening, I want to talk to a person who has gardened. Whether he's failed and learned from his failures and is now successful, that's great. I don't want to talk to a person who has a shitload of seeds and no garden. I want to talk to a person, I want counsel from a person who has planted in his garden, gone through the struggles, learned from his struggles, from his failures, and is now successful. Or is on the path to success. I'll listen to his counsel more than I do the guy who's got a closet full of seeds and shovels and axes and hoes and stakes and tomato cages, but not a single garden. That's just what I've learned in my life. I don't care if you have an AR-15. If the only experience you have on your AR-15 is shooting at a shooting range, I don't care if your EOTech is glistening on the top of that $1,800 Daniel Defense. I don't care. I'm more interested in the doers. There's a lot of fashionable people out here today. Let's continue. Nor with a buyer of selling, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness, nor with a slothful for any work. Don't talk to a slothful man when it comes to a hard day work. Nor with a hireling for a year of finished work, nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any manner of counsel. I'm not going to go to a person who's habitually late for work and ask him, how do I climb up the corporate ladder by being on time? Talk to those who, and that's why the Bible says, have what one counselor out of 1,000. Have that one counselor who you know. I could go on and on about this. There are too many people who write write-ups about firearms and have people going out there and spending their life savings to try and get a $2,500 AR-15 when the most action your AR-15 is ever going to get is deploying it at a shooting range where you get one shot per second. Or some ranges like one shot per 3 seconds. That's the only experience they have. I want to talk to the guy who has deployed that firearm. Which means I have to have a personal relationship with him, because if you deployed that firearm, I want to know when you deployed it and how you deployed it and what happened. And if I know you weren't in the military, you know what I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at. I tell you, there's certain things that I don't talk about. I don't talk about what it's like to be in the military. Never been there. I talked to many, many, many people who've been in the military. Been trained by many, many people who've been in the military. But I've never been in it. So I can't tell you what it's like to fight in Vietnam, or Iraq, or Afghanistan. I can tell you what it's like in the hood, though. I can give you that story. I can tell you what it's like to be shot at out there. Oh, you learn quickly in the hood what cover is and what concealment is. You'll learn that real quick. That's why when we have discussions about SHTF and gangs, I laugh at what people, and yes, that stream is coming, possibly next week. When we talk about gangs and SHTF, I have a good time listening to people pontificate about how gang organization is, because they have no freaking clue what they're talking about. None. And even today, I mean, it's been so long for me that I'm sure that I'm out of the loop now. I know a lot of people like to talk about doing things, but when it comes to it, they drop an anvil on their toes. Man. Woo. Brother. And see, and with that, I watch people. So I watch a person. You know, a person will tell me, if this happened, I'm going to grab mine and I'm going to go and deploy. See, Akeecha Ranch is another brother. Brother, you know what? I'm going to hit you up because I'm going to do a stream. I'm going to do a stream specifically on gangs and what it could look like in a Crabistan situation. And since you also were a participant of gangs, it would be nice to have you on the stream as well. I believe Mother Elaine said she'll be there, and she's got the bikers covered. And me and you were both in the streets. And I don't think that people understand what gangs are and how they operate. They think that they're a bunch of sideways shooting, smooth talking, pants sagging dudes. They don't understand the structure. They don't understand the order. So, brother, I'm going to hit you up, and if you don't mind, you don't got to share everything. I ain't sharing everything either, brother. But just enough to get those to understand what it could possibly look like. Many are not ready for that. That's brother. J.A., they're not. They're not. They think training is sitting down, changing mags. Brother, I'm going to hit you up. I'm going to hit you up, brother. I'm going to hit you up. Now, me and Akeecha Ranch, Unique Taste of Soul, we would have been shooting at each other had we met each other in the streets. And look at what y'all did for us. But we're going to try and provide this information for you, so that you, especially for those of you that are in inner cities or on the outskirts of inner cities, so you understand just a little bit. Don't go off and listen to these guys that are smiling with their gun. You may want to get some real intel on how this stuff works. If you think you're going to win a war of attrition against gangs, you're not. You're going to lose that war. I'm just telling you. Order. Without that order in your household, man, Brother Mark Chase, that's one of the wisest things that people can do. Never underestimate a possible enemy. I see people today that underestimate the devil. They act like he is some peon that you can say, get thee behind me, Satan. And Satan's going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm running alone, I'm so scared. They think that because, people think that because, in the name of Jesus, leave me alone. The demons know Yahshua's name. They know who he is. But what are you living? That's the key to all of this. What are you living? It's not what you know, it's what you know how to do. Oh my gosh, I'm being tempted. Get thee behind me, Satan. I banish you. While you're in the middle of the strip club. While you're in that situation of sin. That's what, J.A., right. Knowing what an ambush looks like because you are good at making one happen. You have to know how the enemy moves. Satan is a formidable foe. If you read the book of Jasher, Satan transformed himself into a stream to stop Abraham from sacrificing Isaac. Satan was so masterful that he was able to deceive 1/3 of the angels who were sitting there in the midst of Yah. He was able to deceive them, and they were up there. That's how powerful Matthew 24 is when it says, Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. That's right, Elkanah. And he transformed himself to an old man who knew the Bible. And we think that because we feel good, we feel like Yah's within us. We've got to wake up to understand our enemy. And too many people operate in a spirit of pride and think that because you are Chuck Norris of all Chuck Norrises, that you're just going to walk through everything. When Satan comes, he's just so scared of you. Satan ain't scared of you. Here's what Satan does. Satan waits till you're weak. How do we know that? When did Satan approach Yahshua? After he had fasted in the wilderness and offered Yahshua all these wonderful things. Satan waits till you're weak. He's waiting till your knees are wobbly. You and him been sparring. He wants to see is your jaw. Do you have a glass jaw? He wants to see if he gets you a good time with that left. Is your jaw made of glass? Are you gonna be like, ooh, ooh? Is that gonna be you? And I see a lot of people flexing and saying, well, that ain't me. Satan, bring it on. Bring it on. I'm like, y'all don't know what you're saying. Y'all don't know what you're saying. See, I don't talk big and tough. I don't say, bring it on, government. I'm just going to do this if this happens. You want to know why I don't do that? I've learned some wisdom in life. One thing I learned, be quiet. Be quiet. Walk softly and carry a big stick. Never let anybody know what you got. That's something I want to talk about when we get into our gang series. I'm surprised at the amount of people, big and tough dudes, of course, big and tough dudes, who constantly and routinely show everything that they got on YouTube. Do you know that these people watch YouTube? Do you know gangs actually have hackers? Dudes that are really, really good with phones and computers and laptops and tablets. How do you think they fund themselves? So what I learned, is be quiet. Stop acting big and tough. Be about your father's business. Be about your father's business. Leave all the tough talk for, I guess, the tough people. But I know one thing. The more you talk, the more you're going to be called on that. Just from the streets, the dudes that were always talking about how tough they were always the ones that got confronted by somebody tougher. And what we found out is oftentimes the one talking was not nearly as tough as he made it out to be. The one that's got his firearms and shows how proficient he is, man, I can't wait for this. Unique Taste of Soul. I cannot wait for this conversation. The amount of intel that was gathered, the amount of work the foot soldiers put in to get intel. Dudes were willing to go to jail to get intel on a general that was calling shots from behind bars. It's going to be an interesting conversation. Jay Moore, I just saw your comment. It didn't show it. But Jay Moore said, heck, boil it down to KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what it means. Buy your family Nerf guns and see if you don't get hit. Buy your family some, get the protective equipment, some airsoft, and see what it's like. See what it's like to have something whiz by you. When I was a teenager, I heard a story where a mother said to Satan, "You're a liar," and she said he came back to her and said, "You're a liar. That's why you must submit to Yah first." Mm. Mm. Cowboy Logic states, "Never miss an opportunity to shut up. Remember that we shall be held accountable for every idle word." I'm still working on it. Brother, me too. Me too. Not only is every idle word going to accompany us to judgment, but there's always somebody out there who's listening and says, "Oh, so you're that much of a badass? We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to do this and do that and do this and no. Okay, we'll see. I got you." And then what happens is they're going to find out, are you selling wolf tickets or not? But first and foremost, why not just hush? Hush. Quiet. Because the people are listening. They listen. They watch. They observe. You'd be surprised at how much information you can get from a YouTube video. I'm just saying. You've got to have your families in order, brothers. You've got to have your family in order. This is not the time to be finding out that your family is not in order. This is not the time to find out that your family is not your family is not walking with you. This is not the time to find out that your wife hates your guts. Oh, brother Daryl Vick, 100%, brother. If you are bluffing, someone eventually is going to call that bluff. Someone's going to pull your card. Someone will. Always heard dudes talk tough. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know. When these mother effers come over here, we're going to bang, 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 bang. And then when the MFers came by, they were the one ducking. They were the one hiding behind the women and children. Just to come back out. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I knew too many of those people. Keisha Ranch, I know how you talking, brother. Yep. Mason Shane, shalom. How can anyone even think of getting into debt? What goes up must come down. Save and wait. That's it. Save and wait. Save and wait. Be patient. Be patient. Now is the time, and this is where you're really going to find out a lot about yourself as an individual, as a man, as a woman, as a child. You're going to find out a lot about yourself in times like this. You're going to find out about your faith. Do you actually believe? You're going to find out, and this is the toughest thing that a lot of people are going to find out, because the Bible says, do not be deceived. I was going to say, Mother Elaine, that's right. What Akita Ranch said was perfect. My organization was my set. They didn't raise my family. I'm also of the belief it doesn't take a village to raise children. It takes parents. Mother, father, mother to raise children. That's what it really takes. Brother Alex, Shabbat Shalom, brother. Shabbat Shalom. But you don't want to find out right now that your family is not moving in the same path as you. Without family order, without there being an actual head in the home, and the head leading the family, it's going to lead to turmoil. It's a lesson most haven't learned. There's always someone that's a bigger badass out there, and silence is free. Ass whooping's heard. Man. What was it? Eddie Griffin said that, going to the club, the man that's always selling wolf, the loudest person in the club is usually the biggest B. The loudest person is usually the biggest B. He's the one that's relying on his boys to back him up. The ones that were killers were the quiet ones. They were quiet. You knew they were a killer because they can't tell you their whole story. They don't want you asking questions about them. The guy that's over there talking about how much of a badass he is and how much kung fu he knows and how he fought these 5 guys and could take these guys out, that guy was a B. Watch the guy over there that was just chilling, shooting the crap with some of his friends. He never flexed. He never showed his firearm. He never waved his firearm off in the air. No, that dude was the killer. That dude's the one that will stare you dead smack in your eyes and pull the trigger. That's the dude that don't care about wife and children. That's the dude you got to worry about. And honestly, the killer, he's also the one, Sister Cass, I saw your comment, the killer's also the one that tends to avoid confrontation because he knows if it goes confrontation, he knows what's going to happen. No, that was back in the day. Now, today things have changed a little bit. Yeah, that's right, Sister Aspen. Yes, she was right. I learned long ago not to threaten. It states what you are going to do so they can counter it. It holds you to a course of action and it dissuades de-escalation and possibly creating friendship. Brother, that is so true. I always find it very hysterical when, wherever you live, you always have that guy that put up the sign because he was a badass. Trespassers will be shot. First of all, if you ever have to shoot somebody, the DA is going to have a field day with that one. Just saying. Second, you just told everybody around you that you shoot first, ask questions later. Which means you just gave up a significant piece of intel about you. That I now know how to get around that intel. I know how to get around that shooting first mentality. If I know you're going to shoot first, then guess what I'm going to do first? Especially if I'm the thief, the crook, the whatever it is. I may have been willing to go on your property and steal your lawnmower with nothing. Now I'm going to go on your property and steal your lawnmower with some heat. Because you just said you shoot trespassers. Why not just, as Brother Alex just said, walk softly and carry a big stick? That's the world. But we have a world full of talkers today. It's always better to appear, the way the world sees it, it's better to appear to be a badass. If somebody calls it. That's right. Stony Island, I was just saying that. The DA is going to have a field day with that. It shows intent. It shows premeditation. Premeditation. See, we have to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. We have to be wise as serpent and harmless as doves today. Now's the time to focus a lot less externally and focus more internally. Focus more on the things that are around you, brothers. Start with your family. Too many times, the children our ribs are being neglected so that we can try and, I don't know, talk to others, I guess. And we're neglecting the ones that are here. I have honed in a lot of what I've been doing. You know, I'm not going out a lot this year. I'm not doing talks this year. I'm not going over here and doing consultations this year. I'm not doing that sort of stuff this year. People didn't know I was doing that sort of stuff. Yes, I do a lot of different things. I just don't talk about it all the time. But I've narrowed it in because as I see things happening, first and foremost, I don't want to really be outside of what I know is home. That's my first thing. Second, I just don't want to be in a position. I try to avoid conflict as much as possible. I try to. If you're a wise person, you try to. You understand that when the fight comes, you have to deal with it, but you try to avoid it. Well, the world's getting crazy. And I've noticed even in the faith, there are so many differences that people can't just say, hey, you don't eat meat? Cool. I eat meat. Bless you, brother. We can't just say, hey, I don't drink strong drink. You do? Bless you, brother. Bless you. Enjoy your scotch, whatever it is you're drinking, your gin. Bless you. Enjoy it. Now it has to be you have to believe what I believe. If I don't drink strong drink, then you shouldn't drink strong drink. If I don't eat meat, you shouldn't eat meat. If I hop on one leg, then you should hop on one leg. If I observe the Sabbath this way, then you better observe the Sabbath this way. And all that's done is cause conflicts to the point where you got people who are in the faith now threatening to shoot up other people in the faith. Literally. You have people in the faith. Oh, I wouldn't even call them in the faith then. You have people who claim Messiah, who claim Torah, who are gloating and boastful about the fall of another brother who they had aught with. So I realized, you know what? Tighten that circle up. Tighten that circle up. Tighten that circle up. I need to find the real ones. I need to search for the real ones and find the real ones. Those that love Messiah, that keep the law. I would have to bet they were never a part of the faith to begin with if they take that possession. Right. Brian Scott, why don't we do a live stream with the other brothers anymore? We took kind of a hiatus. There was a lot going on with the other brothers and myself. So we kind of decided we're going to take a break, handle, because there's planting season, so there's a lot going on. No, there's no falling out between the three of us, none of that. It's just, we just took a break from the other stream. Now, when we started talking, you remember, they used to meet on this channel. And then we create the other channel from this channel. So I always said that I'm going to continue these streams, and probably late summer, we'll be back. We'll be back doing the same streams on the Disturbers of Israel channel. So no, nothing happened with us. We're all still good with each other. It's just that there's a lot of sacrifices that were taking place for us to do those streams. A lot of sacrifices behind the scenes. I'll say one sacrifice is homesteading and things like that. It was really hard to end our homesteading several hours before the Sabbath started, because usually I would work up to about an hour before the Shabbat started to come in and change and everything, and so would they. But then we were ending 2 and 3 hours and 4 hours before, and it put us behind. It put us behind. So we will be back. We will definitely be back on the Disturbers of Israel channel. But thank you. That's a good question, brother. Good question. Region 10 Remnant, Shabbat Shalom. Oh yes, but Brian Scott, yeah, we still talk all the time. Talk all the time. It was not about a problem. It was not about a problem. It was just we were busy. God, we were busy. Chris Jennings Jr. said, that's crazy. Yahshua said, love your enemies. Obviously, that was talking about, he's talking about in Israel. So if you had aught with a brother, you love that brother. If he struck you, you turn the other cheek to your brother. Not, I want to kill you. Brother Jay Morris, I'm humbled, brother. Brother Jay said, because working on your property takes it out of a man. Brother Chris is a beast to be able to make these live streams during the busy part of the year. It's tough, brother. It's tough. In fact, when I do my work throughout the week, I usually put in a little extra work every day under the idea that when seventh day night comes tonight, or where we are right now when Shabbat starts, or a couple hours before that, I have to kind of bring it to a close so I can get ready for my live stream. Next frame at the gate. Shabbat Shalom, brother. We're called to be a witness, not a judge. No one should be holding Rome. We shouldn't be. We're going to be a peculiar people, set apart people. Thank you, Sister Aspen. I love my brothers. Are y'all still doing tabernacles with all homegrown foods this year? I am going to check on that. I mean, I am. I'm going to check on that. Just to make sure. Damn flies. LaFrance Hart, Shabbat Shalom. Bless you, brother. Missed you, brother. Hallelujah. It is good to have you back, brother. Hallelujah. So, brothers, just make sure you have your household. Well, the Bible gives a specific order of how the house is supposed to be done. Yahshua, Yahshua, husband, wife, children. We got to have that order. With what is coming and the slow falling apart, of this society is going to test and put pressure on your order, your family order. There's going to be a lot of pressure being put on family order. There's a lot of outside influences being put on family or being put against family order. Right now, you want a system. You want a household system. How do you respond to things? Shabbat Shalom, Journey Acres. How does your family respond to threats? How does your family respond to situations? How would your family respond if in 2 weeks you had to move? Would that tear apart your family? How about this, brothers? Because I get a lot of messages about this topic. How would your wife respond if you said, all right, I bought some land, it's time for us to go? It's time for us to go today. I procrastinated. I did not obey when I knew I should have done it. But you know what? Now I have to do it. And she says, I'm not leaving. You say, I bought land. I bought 2 acres in the Ozarks. We're leaving. And she says, I'm not leaving and you're not taking our son. I'm not leaving and you're not taking our daughter. I'm going to put you on child support. If you try to leave, I'm going to take everything you got. Now you see why family order is so important? Because there are a lot of brothers right now who want to make serious moves. But because they say that their wife is in the faith, but they don't have headship in their home. They don't have family order. They don't have authority inside of their home to make the moves that they need to make. So how can you actually say she's in the faith? That's my question. But Jay Moore said, losing the ability to power till this year has really put gardening like you do in a serious perspective. I need to get some hoes from Westholt because breaking one professional hole a week at $78 is whoa, brother. One a week because you're trying to break that ground up. God, $78. My goodness. And all these things, Brother Jay Morris brought up a good point. Especially for out here. In these Ozarkian soils. This soil don't play. You gotta have, and Westhold Forge make me some good hoes. Because I've been putting those things to work. And all they need every once in a while is a little sharpen at the end. Because these rocks and this soil will tear up your tools. It will tear them up. And if your soil's not ready to plant, Elcount, Brother Jay Morris, Elcount 25 said, look at Seymour Grub Hose. Seymour Grub Hose. These dusty rocks that we call dirt, right? If you move to the Ozarks, you become a professional at building soil. You'll become a professional at building soil. We had to use a pickaxe on our homestead. Brother, me too. I had to till mine. I tilled mine and then used the pickaxe. And when you till this Ozark soil, it feels like your arms are, I don't know. It's a very interesting feel. The same thing when you use a handheld auger. The Harbor Freight auger. Drilling into this soil, I put an extension on my auger and it goes down about 6-ish feet. Man, getting down 6 feet with an auger, a handheld auger, is woo! Brother, these rocks are bad out here in the Ozarks. I'm building raised beds. I have raised beds, but I also have in-ground gardens. I got what? Why is Pac outside? Okay. We bought a gas tiller. We have red clay. I use the gas tiller also. Brother, these rocks. Oh wait. Hey bro, this is off topic, but I just recently bought a solar generator. It's an EcoFlow Delta Pro. It's a powerhouse for off-grid living, and another good one is Blue Yeti AC 200P. Check them out, brothers. That's a great, brother. I'm glad you mentioned that. Because, hold on 1 second. What's going on? Okay, I'm back. If you are looking for power, let's close this door. A solar generator is a good idea. I know a lot of people right now that are trying to figure out how they're going to afford a solar system. Let me tell you, solar is expensive. Getting into solar is an expensive endeavor. If you can get a solar generator, sure you're gonna pay up front, but you're not buying an individual inverter, you're not buying individual batteries, you're not buying a charge controller, fuses. I have mine wired to its own DC breaker box, and then an AC breaker box. DC for my DC appliances, AC for my AC appliances. You're talking quite a bit of money. A great idea, especially if you're just like, I just want something I can power my tiny home, my shed home, my travel trailer. Getting yourself a solar generator saves you a lot of hassle. At the end of the day, it'll be cheaper than a gas generator, especially with the prices of gas right now. And you can power quite a bit with those, 2,500 watt solar generators. You can power quite a bit. And that's a great stopgap for you to have power until you decide how to build your solar system. I get people who ask me all the time, what did you use and how much did you pay for this and that and the other? Well, now I'm looking at lithium ion batteries for my system. And you know how much those things cost. So it's just a great idea. And even if if you're on grid, again, avoiding problems. Having yourself a nice size solar generator, again, 2,500 watts, solar generator, having that just on backup. Having that on backup is a great idea. And what I mean by backup, I don't mean by it's still in the box. I mean, learn how to use it. Learn about wattage. I'm surprised at how many people don't know or understand wattage or what an amp hour is. It's amazing. I get questions all the time. Can I use run a I don't know, a 12,000 BTU swamp cooler on a 250 watt or a 1,000 watt generator? I'm just thinking like, no, you can't. Can I? How many solar panels do I need to run my refrigerator, my Xbox, my PS3, my 72-inch TV, my coffee maker, and my blow dryer at the same time? And I'm just like, you can't. Your coffee maker alone is going to trip it. You're going to blow it with your coffee maker. It's important that we have an understanding of what we're doing. It's important that if you choose to live a life, you want to come out and you want to, especially got people off grid. Off grid sounds very, very fancy. It sounds very, very cool until you start doing the math. Off grid can become a very expensive lifestyle. Very expensive lifestyle, especially if you don't know what you're doing. You have to be very wise when going off grid. And you have the kilowatt meter. I don't have mine from Harbor Freight. I got mine from Amazon. Jay Moore, brother Jay, brother. That's why I was talking about order, brother. Brother. Game consoles. He needed to run his PS5 because he made a deal with his son that his son would only come out. Meanwhile, his son, I think, was 12 or 13 years old. His son would only come out if he could have his PS5 and play, I think it was Call of Duty, no, Fortnite. That's that shooter game, that little kids shooter game. I think that's what it was. He wanted to play Fortnite using internet. And that was the only way his son was going to come out. And I was like, family order gone. You had to bribe your 13 or 12 or 13-year-old son to come out with you. If he didn't have his PS5, I think it was PS5, and because he was asking me how many watts does my PS4 use. And I was like, well, I have a system that can handle everything that I'm running. What are you talking about? Well, I need, my son wants to, the only way he's going to come out, the only way your son's going to come out? The only way your son is going to come out is if you buy him Fortnite, or if he can still play Fortnite and on his PS5. And the son compromised and was willing to get a 40-inch TV to play it from his 55 that he had in his bedroom. That was the son's compromise. And I was like, family order's gone. Family order is gone. Our future, just having lights and fan, will be considered a luxury by many. Brother. Lights, fan, and a wood-burning stove. Journey Acres, that's absolutely right, brother. If you have to ask or bribe, you're not the head. Baby, can I buy another... Can I please buy another 50 pounds of rice? 50 pounds of rice. J.A. Wright. See, people have to have that understanding. Brother J. Moore said, who has time for games or TV during gardening season and animal husbandry times? And how do they? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Brother, maybe I'm doing it wrong too. Maybe I'm doing it wrong too. Maybe we got it all wrong. Mother Elaine said, who leads in that house? We know. Sister Amanda said, Palmetto Paratrooper ain't bribing no one. This is what I'm doing. I like it if you came, but I'm going anyways. That was exactly it. That's order. Babe, I'm leaving California and moving to Arizona. Actually, I didn't even say I'm. I said we are. We're all moving to Arizona. First response, yes, master. Babe, I bought land. Actually, she found the land, so I can't even say I bought it. I mean, I bought it, but she found it. I told her, find land for me. Find it in the Ozarks. She asked me the specifics. I gave her the answer. Between this price and this price, I want this much property. I went to work. Came back home a couple weeks later. I found these, or a couple of days later. I found these 10 pieces. Call on them. Give me the details. She did that. I made the choice. Babe, we're moving. All right? When? We're moving a week from now. All right? I'll have everything ready. I'll have the children packed up. How do you want to do it? Are we going to get a U-Haul? I'll work all those things out. I told her what size truck, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. She had all the information. All I had to do was go to work. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of order. My children respect my ribs because there's nobody telling them not to respect them, like the school system. So they are the first line teachers of the children, of my children. They are homeschooled. That was one of the reasons why I picked the state that I moved to. I wanted an extremely, extremely homeschool-friendly state. And I might have found one of the most homeschool-friendly states. That was a while back. Unique Case of Soul. Wow. He said he remembered when I left Cali to Arizona. Woo! People used to ask how he got me to fall in line, and I always say, I didn't know there was another option. That's order in the house. Without order, our households will fall. Division will be caused in the household. Costco has a solar generator that includes panels for $2,000. How many watts is it, Sister Tribal Lady? And you know what brand? We gotta think ahead, brothers and sisters. Do not allow the stress of what you are seeing take place in the world draw you away from your husband. Don't let it. Do not let the worry draw you away from your husband. If you have a strong man of Yah, just support him. He's got it. Your husband is communing with the Father. He is talking with Yah. He is under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, under Yahshua himself. And Yah willing, if he is a strong man, he has a network or a group of strong brothers whom he can sharpen himself with. Iron sharpens iron. He's got that. All he needs is your support. All he needs, you don't need the back talk, the arguing, the fighting. He's moving in the vision that Yah has him in. And what you don't understand is that vision will have you, Yah willing, if you're serving Yah, well, and obeying Him, in a position 8 years from now where you won't have to be stressing. You won't have to be sitting there biting your nails and to the quick and tearing your hair out or prostituting yourself to feed the family. Gardening season is only 90 days, so it's a go, go, go until I can't, or until Shabbat. Woo, Brother J. Morris. See, I couldn't imagine that. Man, you have a very short gardening season, brother. Man. I know you be on it, brother. I know you be on it. Brother J. Morris, also, I sent you a message, yesterday, 2 days ago, on WhatsApp, asking you to send me your address again. I have some of the Hebrew walking onions for you. But I'm terrible with addresses. Hebrew Rapperholic said, what would you advise the bribing father to restore order in his house? Woo! Man. I mean, for children, see, it's hard. Because with a 12 or 13-year-old, and you've allowed that child to run the show for that long, you're going to be in for a battle. And if you let his child run the show, I believe that he was married. At that point, now the mother and the son run the show. And the Bible says in the Apocrypha, give not thy son and thy wife well, let me just go there. I just opened up the Bible right to it. Sirach chapter 33, verse 19. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest. And give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again. I would say it'd be a matter at this point in time, realizing you may experience loss. You may experience loss. But right now, I would just go for it. I would just say, hey, I'm not buying you. In fact, we're selling that PS5. We're selling it. I'm not going to be spending thousands of extra dollars to try and run a system. We need to be outside. We need to be working. You may not understand it now, son, but you will understand it a year or two from now. You will understand it. See, I'm more of a hardliner when it comes to that sort of stuff. I would... I don't play games like that. No. I'm a non-compromising person. If I say we're going left, we're going left. If I say we're going right, we're going right. Now, I'll talk to the ribs and get their input. But at the end of the day, I'm making the decision. So, having a son where you're compromising with means to me that you've probably been doing that for your longevity of parenting. And if you don't turn it around immediately, there's a high probability you'll lose that child. There's a high probability your child may resent the move. And I think a lot of parents have to consider that when you're talking about these sort of things. If you're planning on making a move, I'm going to move to the Ozarks and my child hates that lifestyle, and then I'm going to send my child to a public school. You got to start counting those costs. That's why I say, if you're looking to make this transition out here, start working on things now. Before we moved out here, I had things that I ran with my family where, all right, no cell phones the children didn't have cell phones. That was one thing I made sure. Children don't have cell phones. You laugh about that? For me and Sister Tanisha, no cell phones for a day, or 2, or 3. No internet. Let's turn the lights off. Let's flip the circuit breaker and see what it's like to live a day without any electricity. Oh, no, bro, Jay Morris, you don't have to send me funds, brother. Nope. No. No funds. No, sir. Won't accept it. All I need is an address, brother. I was going to say, Akita Ranch, because the son was 12 or 13, and yeah, you have a runaway risk. You have a child that can go to school, and I'm unhappy. I'm miserable. I'm this. Oh gosh. See, at the end of the day, you reap what you're going to sow. Well, you reap what you sown. If you've sown shit, you're going to reap shit. If you sow trash, you're going to. If you sow to your child being the head of the house, the child's going to be the head of the house. I'm gonna say adequately, brother. I don't even know what I would do. I'm one of those people that I avoid situations like that because I know, and a lot of people in this life, they don't understand that sort of thing. They don't understand there are certain problems that if you create, there's no easy answer. In fact, there may not be any real answer that actually, every answer is going to be you going through some serious pain. Every single answer is going to be you going through some serious pain to get to where you want to go. The wages of sin is death. The wages of our sin in failing to lead our homes is death. It's suffering. It's pain. It's anguish. There's going to be problems. This is why we, as people who are preparedness minded, the prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself. The foolish one passes on and is punished. So no matter what, if we do wickedness, if we have out of order, if we have a family that's out of order, in order to get that family back into order, it's going to be painful. It's going to cost us something. It's going to. There is no smooth transition from making a deal with your son to now pulling that away. There is no smooth transition. You take the stuff away, that would be my answer, but I wouldn't advocate somebody else. You have to know your situation. Because if your son's the type of person that will, who knows? I don't even know. But the fact that your son had that son had enough gall to already come up and say, let's make a deal. To me, that shows me that he's been living that life for a while. He's probably the type of son that threatens his family. If you don't let me do this, then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go do this. I'll run away. I'll steal the car. I'll tell the cops you hit me. Right, and you gave your word. So you're taking. There's avoid. We have to be like the 5 whys. Mother Elaine, that's really the end all be all right there. At 13, he already knows he rules the house. That brother Darrell, good or bad, right or wrong, you always reap more than you sow. If you sow radishes in your garden, you're going to reap radishes. If you sow squash, gray zucchini squash, you're going to reap gray zucchini squash. You're not going to reap carrots. Right? I mean, y'all plant it in the gardens, right? When you plant green beans, what's going to come up?
Green beans.
Green beans. Now, if you plant green beans and you get a piece of fried chicken, aren't you going to be worried? Okay.
It's definitely something more like green beans.
Right. Yeah. You plant it, you reap what you sow. And that's hard. Oh, that's right, Sister Amanda. Sister Amanda said, unless Sister Ebony walked through and spit out her watermelon seeds when I didn't know. Because she did do that. And I was growing watermelons all over the place. And I was like, where are these watermelons at? Yeah, that was Ebony. And that's right. One would have to know the full story also. I mean, at that point, there would need to be some serious family reconciliation. Because the family is all out of order right now. All out of order. And I would never say, don't obey the father. Never. But I would say, you have to understand, these things cost. Do get down. It's going to cost you. It costs all of us. For every one of us that have come out of her, it costs us something for our disobedience. It costs us something for us spending thousands upon thousands upon tens of thousands upon thousands of dollars in the world. For those of us that have sinned in the world, I'm sure all of us have, it cost us. It cost me. My sins cost me. Now, there is always, Yah is always merciful so that it won't destroy you, but it's going to cost you to get through it. I lost very important people in my life because of my sins. But I didn't stop. That's right, Brother Alex. Blessings and curses. Blessings if you obey, curses if you don't. If you don't obey, you're going to get curses. And the thing about delaying in obedience to Yah is if you say, well, I'll obey Yah, but maybe next year. Do you know how far behind you're going to be? I only think about what if I had obeyed Yah and came out 10 years ago instead of 5 years ago. What would the rock look like? If I had 5 more years when I was when everything was in my prime to work on the property. Instead of now you have the occasional Amani. Imagine if I had not played basketball. That's right. Lord Jamo, cause and effect. So it's hard for me to even counsel other than obey the Father and go through the fire. Obey the Father and just go through the obey the Father and just go through the fire. Jordan Yaker said there would be 50 kids on the rock. He's telling the truth. There would be.
He'd be a bus. Actually, he would need a lot of buses for his kids.
The first thing is for the father to confess his wrongdoing. There it is. And let the child know that things will be different from now on. And then act on that. Brother Daryl Vick, thank you. See, because honestly, I didn't have an answer. Because my answer just avoided. But that is the answer. That would be that would be the appropriate thing. Thank you, Brother Daryl. I'm gonna read that what Brother Daryl said again. The first thing is for the father to confess his wrongdoing and let the child know that the things will be different from now on, and then act on that. Let your child know, hey, I was wrong. I mean, I did it. Hey, I was wrong on this, this, and this. Things are going to be different now. We're not living that way anymore. I love you. I want you to have a better life. I mean, I even explained to my children, hey, you saw all these things that we were going through? You hear all the gunshots? You know, those strange smells that would come through the vents? Yeah. That was not, we weren't supposed to be living that way. That was Daddy's wickedness. When Daddy and Mommy weren't getting along, I told them that. And one thing it helped the children understand is, one, if Daddy's ever wrong, they don't ever have to worry. I'll come to them. Hey, I was wrong about this. You know, it's me. It's not you. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. That was just me. I was tired. It was hot. I got stung in the eyeball by a mosquito. The chickens were too doggone loud. You know, the roly-polies ate up my seeds. It's not you. It was all me. I'm sorry. I apologize. Do you forgive your daddy? Yes, Daddy. But see, you can't be so prideful as a father or as a mother to even repent to your children. Teach your children what repentance looks like. Be the example. Let them see you with a contrite heart. It's okay. My children don't ever look at me and say, Daddy's soft.
No.
They looking like Mac now. Jay Moore said, you and I both, Brother Chris, Young Buck's word of advice. Start reading the book and doing what it says. You won't be invincible forever. Start putting in sweat equity now, please, for your sake. For your sake. Do it now. The world is not promised to go on forever. And we know it's going down. If you are in your book, if you understand the Bible, if you understand anything about the economy, if you understand even the slightest bit of a recession, and this is not a recession, this is not a recession, this is a straight up depression. While they continue to say, economy is the best it's ever been. What's wrong with it? We're going in a downward, I've talked about it for 3 or 4 years. The snowball has gotten too big to stop it now. The only thing that the snowball can do is run its course. Run over whoever's in its path, whoever built their house in the middle of the snowball that's now a doggone avalanche, your house is gone. Get out of the way of the moving avalanche. Save your house. What we need right now are more households of faith who have righteous headship, order, family. Because whether or not you understand it or not, we are all part of the same body. And whether you know it or not, we are all going to have a need of more than just us. You're going to have more need than just the people that you think are part of your mag or your tribe or whatever you want to call it. You're going to need more people than just that. And it may not be a person that's living, 5 feet from you. It may be a person that lives an hour from you. What's happening is it seems like Yah's galvanizing those that are his. He knows those that are his, and he's calling on those that are his. And we're connecting with each other. Not even intentionally. You might just be like, hey, I'm going to listen to this stream. I'm going to see what he has to say. You listen to it, you're like, huh. Hey, I know brother so-and-so. I didn't know he listens to him too. And you two connect. Then bam, before you know it, you know somebody else that lives in your area. That's what we have to do. There are more and more brothers and sisters, I praise y'all for that are moving into the Ozarkian area, the greater Ozarkian area. They're moving in, they're building, they're creating their homestead, and what you don't understand, what I didn't understand when I moved here, is you're becoming part of something bigger. You're becoming part of something bigger. You may not see it today, but we're all part of the body. And we all carry a responsibility, no matter where we are on this earth. We all carry a responsibility. That's right, Brother J.A. Dudley. And we're creating community. We're creating something bigger than us. I mean, I've had the privilege to meet Brother Alex 2 times. And he lives a distance from me. Both times drove out here to meet me. Well, to deliver. Both times he brought goats. Something about Brother Alex and goats. Every time he comes, there's a goat in his truck. Or trailer. Beautiful thing. I am thankful. And that's in the greater Ozarkian area, but we have some distance between us. You don't know the path that Yah has you on, where it's going to lead you, where you'll end up, and how important you are to it. So don't let disorder stop you from making the moves that Yah has for you to make for his doing. Not for me. Not for Pastor Fox. It's for Yah's doing. He is calling his people. And I firmly believe that. Whoa. Commercial wheat farmers in Montana are either not planting most of the fields or not using fertilizer. It's costing the big farmers 10 to 12 G's a week in fuel alone, roughly 25,000 total daily. So where's that wheat going to come from? And we read in the Bible, last week we read there was a shortage in wheat, in bread. Now, I understand that it means food, but I find it very interesting that bread's made from wheat. If you have a couple extra bucks, Tuba put me on it, and if you know any other websites, please send me an email of a website that you know that is a good one, reputable one. And I'll do a community chat thingy on YouTube somehow, and I want to start posting some links so that people can go and purchase what you need. I know Zur Center is good. I like them. Thank you, Tuba. But we've got to do a lot more right now, brothers and sisters. Right now. Well, not right now. Shabbat started. It's in. But we got to start thinking big now. We got to start thinking not prepping for a comet to come and hit the earth, prepping for Mad Max. How about you just prepare for the fact that you're not guaranteed to be able to go to the grocery store and get the food that you need next year. Start preparing for the fact that gas may not stop at $4.60. It may hit $7, $8, $9, $10. Start preparing for the fact that crime is going to continue to increase. So you should have a plan for your family, your household, those that you care about. Start preparing for the fact that electricity may not continue to run. That's why that solar generator is a great idea. You can have a solar generator. And I'm sure you could probably even use a solar generator in your apartment. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. Never used one. Yeah, you probably could. You can't use a generator. I know that. And they're a lot quieter. The noise footprint is a lot less. Now, I wouldn't want to be the one in my apartment complex where everyone's lights are out with all my lights on, but that may give you the ability to charge your cell phones, your laptop, your tablets, maybe run your router so that you can still get information. Run some download things. We've got to start using this. You're right, Brother Daryl Vick. Next year, the way things are becoming now, it's more like next month. You're absolutely right. Brother Jay Moore said, plan for $12 gallon of milk to be on sale price within the next year. Prepare for the fact that you may be put in a position where you may lose your apartment, where the house that you're in, the owner may stop making payments on it, and the house is foreclosed on and you're renting it. So now you gotta leave. Plan for things that you don't know that could happen. Plan for the year 2023 to be the toughest year. And then plan for 2024 to be tougher than 2023. Plan for this 8-year until we get to Agenda 2030. Plan for things to continue to fall apart. Plan for war. Have your family in order. Pray with your family, brothers. Teach your family. It's nobody else's responsibility but yours. UN says 70 days of food left for the world. They may be exaggerating, but we all know it to be sooner than later. And here's the thing, Mother Elaine. They're not going to tell us how bad things are. They know we find out. They know we find out. But see, Yah has always warned his people. So even though they, being the powers that be, won't let us know, we have a Father in the Shemaim who knows all things, who is putting it in the hearts, who's put it in the hearts and the words of his true people, the watchmen, the elders, and his very, 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 very few pastors who have alerted the people to get them ready. The word is out there. So we shouldn't be caught unawares. We shouldn't be. We should have many Noahs everywhere. And what did Noah have? Order in his home. There should be many Noahs everywhere building arks for the saving of their families. Because the men heard the warning from Yah, from the watchmen, from the elders, from the very, 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 very few pastors. Heard the warning and built their arks. So if you're not building an ark right now, what you should do is, earnestly seek the Father. That's exactly it, Lord JMO. They only tell us when they can't hide it anymore. They'll only tell you about the comet that's about to hit the Earth when the comet can't be hit, when it's glowing in the sky. Then they'll let you know. Because their job is to give a resemblance of order to all of us. They don't want anarchy to take place. They want to control it. So they're doing the best that they can. So even though you're seeing prices skyrocket, they're still telling you, oh, everything's fine. Everything's doing great. Hey, people are still, we got businesses still hiring. Yeah, at $12 an hour. The low wage jobs are hiring. The ones where they know you can't go in and pay a $2,000 average rent at $12 an hour. They know that. So they tell you, hey, we're even up to $15, $17 an hour. And you're still struggling to pay a $2,000 rent. And put food on the table. And put gas in the car. And all the other things. America's like the coyote on the Roadrunner cartoon from back in the day. America has already run on the cliff, off the cliff, and now it's in that pause before gravity takes effect. And I think that gravity pulls towards Earth. That was last time I heard study. I remember it was 8.2 meters per second. So, it could be worse now. Since Amanda said they made a satire film on Netflix, Don't Look Up. I watched that film. That was the exact plot to tell people that it wasn't coming, even though it was already seen and recorded by top scientists. So we have some of the top economists already telling us it's irreversible. It's going down. The economy's going down. There is no saving it. They could raise rates as high as they want to. You can't save this mess. The best thing to let it do is let it run its course. And you still got the Fed trying to save this ship. The Fed is still pumping and pumping and pumping, hoping that enough of us, what was the saying that they said? You'll own nothing to be happy. I think Brother J.A. Dudley put it in here. And I remember hearing that. You'll own nothing to be happy. You'll be a constant renter and in debt. So if that's the plan, was it by the year 2030? Why don't you get ahead? They've already shown you their cards. They're playing Uno and their cards are backwards. They're playing Phase 10 and their cards are backwards. You get to see their cards. Yah has given us the wisdom to see ahead of time. And we're still acting like we don't know what game we're playing. We still act like they have our best interest in mind. Mrs. Lovely Dudley said that movie was deep on so many levels. Sister, it was. It was. Palmetto Paratrooper, I'm glad you got home safely. Bless you, brother. Sister Nicole Marie says, so many people, bless you, Sister Nicole, Shabbat Shalom. So many people eyes are closed and eyes distracted. They can't hear the shofar. They can't because they're still looking at Johnny Depp and whatever the hell that woman's name was. To try and, is he going to win? Who the hell cares? Is Johnny Depp going to cut you a check? If he won, then he say, I'll give you 200,000. Why are you so worried about it? Was he promising to pay you? So many people are being distracted. And there is constant distractions. One after another, after another, after another, after another. And people are still, ooh, ah, wow. Did you see Elon Musk? He's gonna buy Twitter. Uh-oh, Elon Musk kind of whammy. He's not gonna buy Twitter anymore. Uh-oh, he's still gonna buy Twitter. Yay! I'm not gonna support Elon Musk. I'm getting off of Twitter because I don't like Elon Musk. I don't like what he's doing. Did you hear that they're gonna build a space station and we're gonna have humans and Earth living on Mars in the next 5 years? That's amazing. Did you hear China? China just completed their space station. How amazing is that? Wow. Meanwhile, while you're doing all that stuff, the price of food right before your eyes has gone up. But you didn't even notice it. It's amazing, brothers and sisters. It's amazing how many people go to the grocery store and don't realize that same bag of flour that they were paying $1.69 and now it's $2.01. They didn't recognize the fact that it went up 32 cents. They didn't even see it. They didn't recognize that bag of cheese that used to be $9 is now $17. They don't even see it. Here's what they do. They buy everything and they walk out of the store looking at their receipt like, well, how come my bill is $179 when last time I bought these same things it was only $69? I don't understand what's happening. Well, yeah, I guess everything's right. They don't even see it. Right, and then there's shrinkflation too. Let me get to some of these comments. Jake Skeleton said, 52 people watching, brother. I remember when there was only like 5. Much love to you, your bloodline. May your family prosper forever. Bless you, brother. Thank you. I am honored. I am honored. I remember those days too. When I was happy to get 10 people on a live stream. 10. I was like, oh my gosh. We got 10 people on the live stream. And 5 comments. Oh. And my only hope is that people are taking this information and at least go look it up. At least go look up, see if I'm lying. The point of this is to help others. The point of the comments that people are putting in the comment section is to help others. I'm not, doing this. That's why you don't ever hear me say like, share, subscribe, and do all that stuff, thumbs up. I don't say all that sort of stuff. Because this is not about a popularity show for me. Sure, do I like the AdSense? Yes. But am I going to pay? Am I about to strike it rich with AdSense? No. I do this because the hope is one person hears it and says, damn it, if that brother was able to do it, I should be able to do it. Yes, you should. I didn't make $75,000 a year and do this. You should do it. And now what's happening is, at the time that I did it making not a whole lot of money at all. Now we're at a point where I don't see how a person could do it on minimum wage by themselves, unless with the family. I don't see how you could do it now. Things have changed so much. Things have changed so much. When I bought this land land was going around in this area for $1,500 to $2,000 an acre. Now we're talking $3,500 to $4,500 an acre. And the land that used to be the prime land, that was semi-flat, now you can't even find that land. Now it's the land that's on a hill where you buy 10 acres, but only half an acre is really usable. New York just banned body armor. Well, gosh. Diesel went up 50 cents in 2 days. I paid $900 for 160 gallons of diesel. This is crazy and wicked. And that's a truck driving brother right there. First hand account. Buying diesel. God. Everything we find that's a good deal is sold before we can even get a hold of the listing agent. That's what my brother Palmetto Paratrooper, who was just out here. See, that's the difference. I want to speak to what Palmetto Paratrooper is doing. That brother he's doing it. See, there are a lot of people who talk. Well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and you watch them move, and they're stuck in the same position. And they're still telling themselves what they're going to do. That brother's doing it. He's doing it. We need more doers and fewer talkers. Because what the talkers are doing is they're drawing in the doers with their talking, so that when shit goes down, the talker's going to be relying on the doer. He'll be trying to talk his way into your house, onto your property, into your finances. Because all he's been doing is talking. The doers are doing it. I'm preparing for kids to come home. Look at that. Sister Priscilla's preparing for the children to come home. That's a different way of thinking. Brother Jay Moore said, Sister Aspen, 35% of Americans nowadays believe the chickens don't have bones or... Oh my gosh. 35... Brother Jay Moore, is this real? 35% of Americans nowadays believe that chickens don't have bones or skin. And you have to kill the cow to get milk. This country has become too stupid to be saved. I hope that... Oh, that's so depressing. Remember the dude who thought that Walmart got their food from behind the store. They're just... You process chickens, right? Do chickens have feathers?
Yes.
Do they have bones too?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes. They have bones too.
This is my 11-year-old daughter. She understands that. She can process a chicken from the coop to it being ready to be frozen by herself. What's the one thing you struggle with?
Not cutting the oil sack. And
not cutting the sack. The poop sack?
The oil sack?
Not cutting the oil sack.
Sometimes the chickens try and spot the poop lines a little hard.
And spotting the poop lines is hard for her. Other than that, she can process the whole chicken by herself. The whole thing. Those two areas she just needs help in. But other than that, she can process the whole chicken by herself. She gonna eat. Brother Mark Chase said, house prices in many areas are going to fall due to excess inventory. Price to local earnings is too high. Mortgage interest rising. High-tech bust coming. Inflation eating dollars and recession. That's absolutely right, brother. That's absolutely. And then we have all these companies buying up the houses and then turning around and renting them. Yeah, put it over there. Put it over there. Sister Nicole said, LOL, yeah, all retirement will be cashed out. Gas went up 30 cents in a day. Right. That's right. Hold on. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Sister Aspen said, you cannot have a family on minimum wage. Impossible. My college student sons, who are now finishing a basement, make 14.30 and 18 an hour. Wow. Wow. So the tribal lady who lives in Alaska said in 4 days, gas went from 5.09 a gallon to 5.55 a gallon. Gosh. Gosh. Oh my gosh. Bradell Vic said, at the store I work at, we're so busy trying to display the right prices for the objects we sell that by the time we finish, the prices will be going up even more. It's hard to keep up. I read that, brother. I read there's a store, there was a Home Depot that was experimenting with not putting the prices on the items, but instead you use your phone and you scan the item and it'll give you the updated price on your phone. Because the prices were rising and dropping so fast that they were changing the signs all the time with their stickers. So they said, why don't we just have it where if you don't have a phone, you bring if you don't have a phone, you bring a scan. They'll give you a scanner, and you scan the item you're looking for, and it'll tell you the price, and you'll lock your price in for like the next hour while you're in the store, like you're buying silver from online. You know, if you ever bought silver online, you know, JM Bullion or SD Bullion, or they'll lock your price in for 10 minutes. That's what Home Depot, that Home Depot was talking about doing. Is you scan it and you'll lock your price in. So that you could then take that price to the register and not the new price. So I could go and buy a 2x4 for $4.25. And you'll come in 20 minutes later and buy that same 2x4 for $4.62. I'm doing a live stream, bud. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yes, we grow boneless chicken breasts like potatoes. Colin Pertry said, cleaning any animal, the hardest thing to learn is not busting open the guts. Gosh. I mean, look at these comments. And you're right, Sister Priscilla, it's not even winter yet. We're not even in winter yet. We're not even in winter yet. What's going to happen to these people who get laid off from their job in September, October? They don't have enough time to put a garden in. They do not have enough time to put a garden in. And then bam, winter hits. What are you going to eat if you can't put in the garden and you haven't saved up any food and now winter hits? Wow. Get your houses in order, brothers. Not only get your houses in order, but get yourself in order. Because you are the head. And as these times get worse, you can't be leaning on your wife, hoping that she can lift you and the family up. That's why you are the husband. You are the head. Well, I want, she better submit to me. She gotta submit. But then when it comes to leadership and the tough decisions and the making moves, baby, what should I do? What should I do, baby? Baby, please tell me what should I do? It's on you. It's on you. I agree. Our population is dumber, making us knowledgeable folk smarter. LaFrat's heart, yes. Sometimes I talk to people, I'm like, am I an effing genius? What the? What? Are you serious? Sugar Creek Homestead. Bless you, brother. Bless you and your homestead. He said, I can confirm that regarding prices. At the store I work, we are not able to keep up. Some items jumping up as much as $100 more on things like tools Animal feeds impossible to keep up. Gas $5.69. Man. Brother Alex said, food storage is just a buffer to scale up agriculture. That's it. All food storage is a buffer for you to grow. Because food storage, I hear Brother TJ from Bear Independence say all the time, the first time, as soon as you crack open that first bucket, the clock starts. As soon as you bust open that first Mylar bag of rice or pinto beans or elbow noodles, your timer has started. And if you don't have resupply coming in, you're screwed. I mean, you're literally screwed. Resupply is going to be what you produce. I understand barter, but I have a whole video about bartering I'm about to do. People think that they're going to get by bartering. You're just not going to get by bartering. Because you have to have things that people want. And a large majority of us, I would say people in this country, do not produce anything. We do not produce anything. All we do is consume. That's it. So what are you going to have to barter? Well, I'll barter ammo. I'll barter my AR. Let me know how that works out for you. Because knowing you, you'd probably barter him your AR first, then you'd barter him the ammo, and then you're screwed. Homestead Diary said, we are needing people to help us with our homestead. Those looking still can message us. We need to work together. Bless you all. Absolutely, it's time. Come together before it's too late. I agree. Come together before it's too late. Wasn't there a verse in Ecclesiasticus that warned what would happen when a wife has to maintain her husband? Yes, it does. Sirach, brother, chapter 25, verse 22. Get him out. Oh, that face. Oh, gosh. Oh, he gets angry. Verse 22, a woman, if she maintains her husband, that means if she's supporting the husband, if she's the one who's making, look at the word maintain. A woman, if she maintains her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A woman that has to sustain her husband, instead of him being the head, she will be full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. That's why it's our job, man. You want the responsibility. The responsibility wasn't just when it's time for sex. Yeah, I'll put it down. Yeah, I'll put it down. Yeah, she ain't never had men like me. Yeah, ain't just about that, brothers. What about times like now? You're not a genius. You just use common sense. Lord J. Oh, that's it. But you feel like, well, you're like, man, am I that smart? Gosh. Are people dumber? Building more garden beds. Got the greenhouse up and prepping it for winter rowing. Propane going to go up. Get a wood stove you can for. That's another thing. Propane. That's one of the reasons why they're having a hard time drying grains. It's because propane costs have gone so high that people are like, I can't afford to dry my grain. I didn't know it was going to go that high. Elkel said, people fantasize about barter because it's like running to the store. Same habit as now going to the mall. They don't get what they don't get, they will be staying home. Brother, I am so glad you said that. You don't understand that the more you position yourself out there to barter in the open, the more you become a target. The more you become a target. Think about it. In order for you to barter, you must take your goods from point A to point B. We have right now on Craigslist, there are women setting up fake dates and then robbing people There are people setting up fake buys. Yeah. I have a whatever for sale. It's going to cost $500. When you come in with your $500, I stick you up, take your $500 and move on. So who are you going to barter with? First of all, in order to barter, you must have communications. How many people can communicate outside of a cell phone? So how are you going to find where the barter spots are? And then if you're in a major city, are you really going to leave your apartment with food or whatever you're bartering? Because if somebody sees you leave and there's nobody else there, what are they going to do? So you're in your house in your suburb, and people see you loading up your vehicle in the middle of the night for your early morning barter session, and you left your house. All they're gonna do is watch. It's not as easy as loading up your car with barter stuff to go to the barter location and barter. I know we all watched. Most of us probably watched the show Jericho. You know, with the Green family and the nuclear bomb that went off, and the guy who plays in The Walking Dead, Morgan. I know many of us have probably watched that show Jericho, where they went to that one town to barter. It's not like that. There you go, Sister Priscilla. Bartering is more likely going to be people in your general area, like someone right next door to you. Oh, Pamela Paratrooper, by far, Jericho was the best. By far, Jericho was the best, brother. Need to barter within your trusted community. Another reason building those relationships now is important. Brother, exactly. Exactly. You need to know, I like the idea of bartering with people that I know keep the law. Because that should not still apply for them and for me. We have the same law. That brother's been shown to be trustworthy already. But traveling out there to barter with a bunch of people who you don't know, The Messianic Minicry said, barter towns won't be around for a while during SHTF. Even then, they'll be run by the remaining government or master blasters, if you will. Right. If you're going to, Sister Nicole, it was, Jericho was good. If you're going to be bartering, you have to understand that the person you'll be bartering with, if you want to go large, you may be bartering with the local motorcycle club, the local street gang, the one who owns the grocery store, the one who took control of the if we're talking about that sort of scenario. But the problem is that most people let's just be real. The majority of people are going to be tapped out of their resources well before bartering ever takes place. Look at the story of Joseph. There was a reason why that they were selling themselves to Egypt. They had no more food. First, you're going to start. All your Federal Reserve debts will be gone. Then it'll be your gold and silver. Then it'll be your sheep or whatever you have left that's barterable. You'll barter that, and then it'll be you. Since most people don't have a supply chain coming in, they're not going to have anything to barter, because we're watching right now the degradation of finances. We're watching people already have to get rid of stuff. Pawn shops are in business right now. By the time we get to the SHTF, most people aren't going to have anything to barter. They will have already gotten rid of everything, just trying to make it between now and then. That alcohol you stored up, you'll have already used it. Unless you have a resupply chain, which is you producing something that is barterable. But for the average person, I would guess to venture 80 to 90% of people are already going to be in some sort of slavery. They're not going to have a single thing to barter but themselves. And for men or for women, you know what that means? You'll be bartering your body. So if we're talking about a true barter situation, I don't believe there's going to be a lot of resources to be bartered, to be honest. Because just look at what's happening right now in this world. People are already losing their mind and damn near getting rid of everything right now. That's right. Brother J.A. said they will beg to be slaves. I fully believe that. We're not going to have this great barter economy. It's going to be literally majority of people who don't have anything but the clothes on their back and their body parts. Because everything that they had, they'll be bartering between now and then. Just like savings. People are blowing through their savings right now, and we haven't even gotten started yet. It's still 2022, and people are blowing through their savings, trying to maintain that rent they can't afford, trying to maintain that way of living that they can't afford. Let them be in slavery. They're used to it anyway, and at least they'll be useful. Mother Elaine said, if you're a single woman going to barter with a motorcycle club, you might end up in a bad situation, or one of the brothers will claim you and you're stuck with him. If you're single, get covered now. That is from Mother Elaine. Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. Could not have said it better. Wow. Couldn't have said it better. Get covered now. I'm not going deep into it. I told y'all I'm not going to be going deep into that, but get covered now. That's get covered now. Sister Nicole said, it will be like Joseph and the Egyptians. Bartering themselves was the last thing they gave away. Slave labor. I will eat 1 meal a day and working on self-defense and gun skills. Right. Because the average person, just be real, the average person in an apartment complex, you don't have a whole lot to barter. And as you keep spending more money to live in that apartment complex, your ability to barter becomes less and less. Until you only have one thing left, and that's you. So this whole barter fantasy that we have, it's going to be for a very, very select few. It's not going to be, your average person is not going to be bartering what they own, because they ain't going to own shit. They're not going to own anything. That's just being real. You have to get there. Shit hits the fan is not something you go to sleep tomorrow and you wake up, or you go to sleep and you wake up and the shit hit the fan and now let's go to our and start bartering. Most people are going to be bartering and selling what they own right now just to get the shit hits the fan. Family proverb time. Be right back if you are still live. Bless you, Brother J.A. Sister Priscilla said, need to prepare for winter. Now is the time to buy a share of a milk cow or goat. Buy a steer and split it with another family. I'm part of a group that slaughters 3 steers. That's another great idea. You want beef? Go in with somebody. Buy a cow. I mean, man. Maybe a repair shop will be a top place fixing things that break. Yeah. Yep. Every time one of my trustworthy worldly friends says, I'm coming to your house, I tell them to bring all their guns, ammo, and canned food, and be prepared to work the land and sleep in a tent. That's right. That's right. That's absolutely right. Woo. People don't have an understanding. It's fun to fantasize about bartering, but the reality of it, when you lived in bad areas, you realize people don't barter, they just steal your shit. People will not barter, they're just going to steal it. That's what's going to happen. When desperate people get desperate, there's not going to be civility. If it gets that bad that we actually have a large bartering society, majority of people aren't going to barter. They're just going to take what you got. That's it. And there goes the dream of a real barter society. I understand the movies show it. I understand the shows show it. But let's look at how people are acting right now. People are running up into stores and jacking stuff and running out. You think they're going to be interested in bartering? The average person is going to run up and take what you got and move on. That's right, Lord JMO. If you have nothing to barter, the only way you can get by is to have skills and invest in yourself. You better know how to do something. You better know how to do something. Sister Ashton said it. Don't tell people you have stuff. It will end badly. Don't even tell them. An old travel trailer is a lot better than sleeping in a tent, and you can haul stuff to your location. Get new tires. That's right, brother. Brother Mark Chase, that's absolutely right. An old travel trailer. I mean, people out here are buying trailers that like old travel trailer frames, and they're building their own little house on it, attaching it to the back of their truck, the back of their SUV, the back of their van, and hey, they got a little home on wheels. That sure beats a tent. The Book of Eli movie. How prized was that Bible? Because it can be used to manipulate people. Look at the churches now. Just saying. How prized was shampoo? Brother. They have them KFC wet wipes. And that's the thing. When people are desperate, they're very easy to be manipulated. And that's something we're going to talk about in the gang stream. When people are desperate, they're very easy to manipulate. Very. We're seeing that now in this world. People are easy to manipulate. I'm going to close this down. I've gone almost 3 hours. Man. Please prepare yourself. That's what the focus of this channel is going to be, I would say, over the next couple of months. We talked about marriage. We talked about, family, polygyny. We had those discussions. Now we're past that now. Now it's do you have a roof over your head? You have food? You have clothing? You have supplies? Do you have a little extra cash that if you've got children and you see a sale at Walmart, like I just did today, I saw a sale, I'll buy out all their underwear for the children. Not just the size they are right now, but the next 3 or 4 sizes. Socks. Whenever they're out of season and their insulated boots go on sale, and they go from $45, which nobody should be paying for. I mean, you could buy a pair, which I did, clear them out, $6. $6, because nobody bought them. All those thick wool sweaters, they have those athletic sweaters at Walmart for $1.50. $1.50 a sweater. You got children? Buy them sweaters. Get yourself one of those plastic totes. Put the sweaters in the tote. Put the tote away. You got clothes for your children for next winter. Because who knows? It's on clearance now. Get it if you can get it. If you need underwear, buy it. If you can find it on clearance, get it. Put it away. Because you don't know what next year brings. And you don't want to be the person out there having to pay $17. $17 for a pack of children's underwear. When you could have bought them for $3 today. And yes, I bought mine for $3. Cleared them out. $3 for a pack of underwear. Clearance. So that my children will have what they need. So that you can have what you need. Get it today while your money still has value. If you have money to spare. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you what I do. That's an investment. That is what a true investment is. You buy food today, while it's $9. 3 months from now, it's $11. investment. I'm done. Bless y'all. Have a blessed Shabbat. Woo! Tim said those children underwear will fit adults after we are done with Agenda 2030. Oh, that's the truth. That is the truth. Man. Take care of your families, men. Have order inside your homes. And the order is not just with your wife or your ribs. It's your children. And it's you. Make sure you have order with Messiah. Make sure you are in your proper place with him. And that is obedient to him. Serving him. Bless y'all. Have a blessed Shabbat. Shabbat shalom.
I said shalom then.
Hmm?
I said shalom.
You said shalom.
Shalom.